Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Good evening, everybody. And we are back with another hot episode of Love Talks Live. Okay, let me get my self situated here. Inshallah ta'ala. Inshallah ta'ala. If y'all watching this on YouTube, subscribe. Hit the like button, subscribe. If you're watching this on any other platforms, inshallah ta'ala, hit the like button, show us some love. Let me put it on my Instagram. Hold on one second. I was looking for the brother to come through, but he must be busy. Inshallah. We're going to light it up today, man. Make sure y'all like, share, subscribe, show some love to the brother. Drop me a comment, say salam alaikum. We have to create our Islamic algorithms, especially in regards to these relevant discussions and relevant topics, inshallah ta'ala. And we gotta bring all this stuff back to reality, especially this topic here. So if y'all tuned in, hit the like button, hit the share button. Shares also help as well with the Islamic algorithm. We definitely want to have create an algorithm that supports Ahlus Sunnah wal Jama'ah. That's a must. Wa alaikum salam, everybody in the comments. Appreciate y'all for tuning in, and inshallah ta'ala, I have a presentation that I put together, and I typed it up, so I'm just gonna read through it, so I don't go off into mumbling, because I know so not mumbling, but sometimes I can just kind of go far off into my brain. What am I doing? I'm sitting wondering, sitting wondering what I'm trying to do. Uh, so I all right, boom, we on Instagram. Okay, so I got a presentation first and foremost. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. إن الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين خصوصا على الخلفاء الراشدين المهديين أما بعد. So hot topic, just to open up real quick. I got a presentation I put together. It's based off of research, my own research, and um, yeah, I'm just gonna read through it. It's basically an outline on this topic. It is not this initial presentation, and I'm gonna open up. We're gonna open up the floor because I like to make this particular program that we do interactive. So if any of y'all got anything to put towards, any part of the video, and y'all not scared to come up and holler at us, let us know. I'll give you the link to join. So inshallah ta'ala, this will I can get through my presentation in about 15 minutes, 15, 20 minutes. And then Sister Nyla, she has some things she want to present from the women's perspective on this topic of the mahar or the dowry. Then after that, we're gonna open the floor for discussion. So if anybody want to come up, and we're not gonna put 10 people on here, y'all. Just let y'all know, we're not gonna put 10 people up. We're gonna pick a handful of people. We got our brother Darius Ducray. He gonna come through and represent for the fellas. Salam alaikum, brother Levon. He gonna come through and represent for the fellas. I can only trick about one brother to come and get in trouble with me. I'm used to sleeping on the couch, so this ain't nothing new to me. That's a joke. I mean, I ain't in the doghouse all the time, but brothers don't be wanting to, touch these hot button topics because they don't want to go in the doghouse. I go in the doghouse and I just read until I go to sleep, and then and then we try again the next day. So, uh, uh, good night. So inshallah ta'ala, I'm gonna read through this, and this is a touchy subject of what should the dowry be, and I just want to give a precursor and a pretense that I do represent the African American community, so I'm going to be speaking from the perspective of the African American community and those close to. Um, um, and we'll get to that in the conversation. We can't. I can't relate, and we can't relate with our other ethnicities, our other brothers and sisters from other ethnicities. Um, Unfortunately, we live in this colonial. We're still in this colonial period, as y'all know. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala free Gaza and all of the people who are oppressed in this world by the oppressors. I mean, everybody and everything is still separate. Just like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in the Quran that He made us into nations and tribes so that we may get the benefit from one another. So people, please keep in perspective that I am an African American, and I'm only speaking to my experience from my experience. So if you're from a different ethnic background, you're probably not gonna agree with this perspective. So let's just throw that out there early, so we ain't gotta waste too much time with it afterwards. Okay, inshallah, bismillah. I'm getting ready. Sound like a sister Tasha. First and foremost, I want to deal with I want to deal with what marriage is. I think we have a bad we don't have the proper understanding of what marriage is. So I put together an outline of the essentials of marriage, first and foremost. So before we get into what we can get into what a dowry is and what a dowry isn't, we first have to understand what what marriage is and its value. What is the value of marriage itself? And I'm pretty sure that y'all can add to this outline that I put together. And please feel free to do so. I'm trying not to make this long. This we probably gonna have to make a part two and part three of this. So inshallah ta'ala. Also, what prompted this is uh, my wife made a post earlier on in the week, and when she made a post earlier on in the week, of course the sisters went crazy, and they were talking about they wanted X amount of dollars. They wanted one sister said she wanted $10,000 to $25,000 for her dowry, and then it was just a big debate in the comment section as to if that was high or if that was not high. So so I put together this outline of the fiqh of the matter. So I'm coming strictly from not in this part in the initial presentation, but I'm coming strictly from a fixed standpoint on what the dowry should be, and we're gonna be fair about it in conversation. All right, so Bismillah. What is marriage? The idea is to get married and to make your desires halal, not to increase your net worth, ladies. Not to increase your net worth. It is to make your desires halal. The benefits of marriage is the fulfillment of your religious duty, emotional and psychological support, family structure, and the preservation of lineage. The companionship provided by a spouse is invaluable. Islam recognizes that human beings are emotional and social creatures who require companionship and emotional support. Marriage offers a loving partnership in which spouses can find solace, understanding, and emotional stability. The emotional bond between husband and wife is a source of strength and comfort during life's trials and tribulations. Family, as an outcome of marriage, is the cornerstone of society, and in Islam is the foundation upon which families are built. Through marriage, couples have the opportunity to establish a family unit that is the basic building block of a healthy and productive society. Establishment of a family is a place where children are raised in an environment of love, respect, and moral guidance, and is where they learn the teachings of Islam. One of the primary purposes of marriage in Islam is procreation. Procreation and rearing of righteous offspring through marriage. Couples have the opportunity to bring righteous offspring into the world, and this is a noble responsibility that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala trusted us with. These children are seen as a source of blessings and a means of continuing the legacy of faith. It is the responsibility of parents to nurture and educate their children in accordance with Islamic teachings. Preservation of lineage and inheritance in marriage also plays a significant role in preserving one's lineage and ensuring ensuring the fair distribution of inheritance. Islamic law places great importance on the rights of heirs, and marriage ensures that one's assets and inheritance are distributed according to the Sharia, protecting the rights of the family members. Okay, so that's an outline I put together for why marriage is important and the essentials of marriage ultimately. Okay, so it's not about a financial come up, and I'm saying that because the locker room talk with the fellas, when we hear a high dowry, the locker room talk with the fellas is that the sister trying to come up off of them. Now I know the rebuttal of the sisters. I'm aware of it. And, sisters want to be protected for if and when the brother breaks her heart. Okay, we get that. We're gonna get there in the conversation. But we it seems like the conversation has stopped there. That the sister is it seems like the conversation starts and stops at the sister wants to protect herself from being hurt by the brother. So when she's hurt by the brother, at least she got okay. So I'm gonna quote the one of the sisters that was on the post that Nyla made. She basically said, and this is not verbatim, she basically said that uh she basically says she's gonna get hurt regardless, dealing with the nature of men. And she has an argument there. Men, we have become very irresponsible with we have become very, very sexually irresponsible. And because of that, families are being broken up and women are being left behind and devastated as a result. Another conversation for another day. So she has a point, but she basically said, if when he hurts me, at least I got $25,000 for the inconvenience. That's basically what she said. Okay. Now, at this point in the conversation, we have to ask we have to recognize that for most people, black people for sure, but I mean, for most people, if you were to give a woman $10,000 to $25,000 for a dowry, that is a lot of money. And don't nobody get on here because I've seen a lot of people in the comments saying, "Oh, hold up one second. I was supposed to send this to a brother who said he was working. My bad. One second. Hold that thought. He wanted to watch this. Okay. All right. So, um, that's I seen a lot of people in the comments in that video on that post that basically said that what you call it $10,000 to $25,000 wasn't a lot of money. It is a lot of money. We're not gonna get that misconstrued. $10,000 to $25,000 is a lot of money. I got a business, and that's a lot of money for me to give away to a woman. not a woman, excuse me. Now, don't let me put it like that. Hold up. Don't let me put it that a woman, a sister that I, of interest. Uh, so let's just understand that first and foremost. So it's not about that quote unquote financial security that a sister would have if she was to get a heart broke. That is not what marriage about is about. And we should not come into marriage believing that that is what not I know she doesn't believe that. I know she doesn't believe that, but we should not come into a marriage with that mentality, like kind of on, bracing for the impact. That's insecurity. And it's probably justified. More than likely it's justified. Our women have been through hell before Islam, and they going through hell after Islam with the brothers. Me and my wife are doing our best to navigate some horror stories. I'm licking her wounds for some horror stories. She licking my wounds for some horror stories from our own personal experiences. And alhamdulillah, since we have chosen to be open and public about our relationship for the sake of Allah, we dealing with other people and their horror stories. So she got a point there. Now at this point in the conversation, I want to shift the narrative. Let me jump out here first and foremost. There is no cap on the dowry. There's a minimum, but there's no cap. There's no cap on the dowry. And to explain to in a nutshell, because it's a fiqhy matter, so it's very, very, very complicated. Anything with fiqh is very complicated, and we don't do complicated right now on this. You got to go to the university to do complicated. So to put it in perspective, there's no cap on a dowry to protect women that come from a higher status. So if somebody was to put a cap on the dowry and the cap was too low, that wouldn't be fair to women of a higher status. Same too, vice versa. You can't put a standard dowry, a standard. You can't standardize the dowry because it might be too much for a woman of a lower status. Not that women are of low status. Uh, the woman that lives across the street from me does not have the same social status as Kim Kardashian. Argue with Allah. That's the reality. So it wouldn't be fair if you standardized it and the standard was set at, like, for example, uh the average woman overall in America, if the Fit Council of America got together and looked at the statistics of how much the average woman makes in America, I believe is somewhere around $50,000 a year. But the average black woman doesn't make that. The average black woman makes about anywhere between $28,000 and $38,000 a year on average. So if somebody tried to put a cap on the dowry, or put a standard on the dowry based on that statistic, that's not going to be fair to the African American women, because brothers are going to feel like they have to pay a higher dowry from a woman that doesn't come from that social sphere. And I don't know if I want to go into the conversation of what ranks the social status or not, but to in short, the ranking of the social status is it's a religious one. It's not so much a financial one. And we have fallen into Western culture, the thought of Western culture, that social status is according to how much a woman makes, or how much a woman wants to make, or how much a woman believes she's going to be making. So a lot of sisters are spitting out the dowry according to that, and that is not proper. With that being said, we're gonna go to the fiqh of the matter. In the fiqh of the matter, we have a narration from an author from Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhu, and I'm pretty sure most everybody who sees this cannot read the Arabic, so I translated it as best I possibly could with the help of my right hand man Imam Nadir and Ustad Saleh Abdul Majid. We put our brains together and did our best with this translation. But I put it right here so that y'all can see the evidence. This evidence is out of a hadith book called the Mishkatul Masabih. It's a very well known hadith book, and it actually spoke on this matter on what the dowry actually, what we should be doing, because nobody can legally say what the dowry should be. Uh, uh, this is an athar with the representation of Umar ibn al-Khattab, so it gets no more authentic than the words of Umar ibn al-Khattab, radiallahu ta'ala anhu. And so this is the expectation that is put out here by the Salaf, by the leader of the Salaf, by the Sahab, by the leader of the Ashab, Umar ibn al-Khattab. He said, and I underlined, underlined this quote. Umar ibn al-Khattab, radiallahu ta'ala anhu, he said, do not exaggerate the dowry of women. If it had been a sign of honor in this world and taqwa and piety with Allah, I messed up right here on the translation. In the with Allah, but I was translating it literally. The word is and Allah, I believe. Yeah, and the law is what I was translating, but it's basically with Allah. The taqwa with Allah, subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam would have been the first from among you to do it. And then Umar went further to say, nor do I know of the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam to have married his women or his daughters, the women of the ladies of his household, for more than 12 uqiyah. And as far as we were able to research, 12 uqiyah is equivalent to about 480 dirham, which that translates into today's money to about $138.68. So that, hey, be quiet right there laughing. She Nyla laughing. Y'all better not report this after I said that either. So let me say this to be fair. 480 dirham back then, I don't know the equivalent. So one of y'all smart people, y'all do that. Y'all do that and let us know about it. I don't know what the equivalent of 480 dirham was back then. What the equivalent it is to it now. I don't know, but it is not a lot. It's not a lot. It was not known to be a lot. So we have an athar from Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhu, stating, like, exhorting us not to make the mahr high. This was not the practice of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, nor was it the practice of the ashab. And further in this book, in the discussion, we couldn't translate it fast enough. I wanted to translate this other part I'm getting ready to mention, but we couldn't do it fast enough. You know, between me all three of us working, and families at home or whatever. But inshallah, maybe if we need to, we'll get the other part translated and presented. But further in that section, it was mentioned that the practice of a high dowry was brought into by the Amara. It was brought into it after with the kingship of the Ummah. and they set high prices for the women that belong to their harem, that belong to their household. And that was just kind of like some type of cultural thing that happened. So that was like the first introduction to that was the first introduction of like high dowries. So this was not the practice of the Salaf, it was not the practice of the Khalaf, and it was not the practice of the Ashab. They didn't do that. And then this section also went to explain that many different instances when noble women were married for next to quote on y'all nothing. So this particular sister who kind of prompted this conversation, she said, "Y'all can." She basically said, "Y'all can go back and forth if y'all want to. I ain't marrying no brother for no 3 pages of Quran. La ilaha illallah. If I give you $25,000, you can go spend that in 1 hour. If I give you $25,000, you can spend that in 1 hour on a car, on a down payment on a car. You get the car, and then you can wreck the car, and the $25,000 is gone. But if I give you 3 pages of the Quran, you're gonna have that with you forever, even in the next life. Even in the next life. Now I gotta say it, that doesn't excuse the brothers that's trying to get over on the sisters by giving them a Quran, just so they can get into bed with them. That's not excusing that. But you cannot, in Islam, you cannot throw the baby out with the bathwater. You cannot. So it doesn't delegitimize brothers giving up some Quran for the marriage as the mahar. Okay, so I, I'm running close on my segment. I put together the fiqh. I put together an outline of the fiqh of the mahr. Uh, do I have time? Do I have time to get to do the fiqh part or no? Because I ain't looking at the comments. Is it? I can't see it. Okay, so uh, we might have to save the fiqh part. Um, y'all, do y'all want me to read the outline of the fiqh? Uh, Anybody put the first 3 yeses or the first 3 no and 1 yes? I will and I won't, because I'm running. I want to keep I don't like to keep making these videos 2.5 hours long, and we want to open up the floor for discussion. And I know the discussions go on forever. Well, I'm not doing the comments right now, but the fiqh. Okay, so 1 yes, 1 I'm indifferent. I study Arabic on my own, brother. Shukran. Okay, I guess they talking in the comments. Okay, so I got 2 yeses. Well, 1 yes and 1 I'm indifferent. Somebody give me. I got just a short amount of time. I just want to read the. Uh, it'll take me 1 minute to read and outline the parameters of the fiqh of the mahar. Uh, I don't really want to complicate this conversation. Uh, so I only got 1 yes. So okay, not many people voted, so I'm gonna read it. Okay, so the okay, 3 yeses. Okay, so the fiqh of the an outline of the fiqh of the matter. In the Maliki school of jurisprudence, like other Sunni schools, Hanafi, Shafi'i, and Hanbali, the concept of the dowry, the mahar, is significant, and it is an essential it is an essential element of the marriage contract. The Maliki school, which is one of the 4 major Sunni legal schools tradition, excuse me, provides guidelines for determining the dowry, and is typically based on mutual agreement between the bride and the groom. Here are the key principles that govern how dowries are determined in the Maliki school. So, one, we should have the consent of the bride. In the Maliki school, the dowry is to be determined with the consent of the bride. The bride has the right to stipulate a dowry that she deems appropriate and within reason. This means that the groom must accept the amount specified by the bride as long as it is reasonable and within means. So you see how fair the fiqh is? So the woman can stipulate, but it must be reasonable. Second, we must consider custom and tradition, which is what I was going into. The Maliki school considers local customs and traditions when determining the dowry. This means that the dowry amount may vary from one region or community to another, as long as it is in line with local customs and norms. So it must be in line with local customs and norms. This is something I don't think we know because sisters is throwing these crazy numbers out. I seen one sister say she wanted 10,000 and a trip to Hawaii and something else crazy. Matter of fact, the ones on that same post that Nyla had made, a sister said, I can't remember the first part of her statement, but she said he has to sign a contract that if he breaks my heart, he has to pay me $150,000. This is absurd. And she's single. The sister that said it is single. And the women that think like this, they're gonna be single for a long time until they leave that thought process. So here's the fiqh of the matter. These are the parameters. So, sisters, if y'all see this and y'all didn't know this before, or within your particular school, you ain't familiar with the parameters of your dowry, then these are some things that you gotta put in perspective. Third, it must be fair and reasonable. The dowry amount should be fair and reasonable. It should not be excessively high or burdensome for the groom, as Islam emphasizes moderation in financial matters. If the bride's requested dowry is deemed excessive or impractical, it may be subject to negotiation or adjustment to ensure fairness. Highlight that. There should be an exchange of consideration. The dowry is a symbol of the groom's commitment and obligation to the bride. It is not a price paid in exchange for marriage. It symbolizes the financial security and responsibility the groom is assuming by entering into the marriage contract. So I think we done got into this thing where the sisters believe like, oh no, he ain't getting in my bed unless the dowry X, Y, and Z. I mean, in the Maliki school, we do believe that there has to be an agreement on the dowry's payment date before the marriage is consummated. So the marriage is legal without the dowry and without that agreement of the payment, but the marriage is not complete. So I think the sisters, because you don't want to get into putting a price on your bed on your bed, sisters. You don't want to get into putting a price for the highest bidder on your bed, and that's kind of what we then fell into. We got all these drop dead gorgeous sisters posting all these drop dead gorgeous pictures, and they all getting 500 likes and 1,000 comments on the pictures. And it's like whoever's willing to pay the most for my dowry. It's not which brother has the best dean. It's like, okay, my dowry, since I got 500 brothers that's after me and 30 of them are regularly in my inbox, my dowry is $50,000. Mm-mm, mm-mm. That is not the sunnah. That's not the sunnah. Even though we're doing it, that is not the sunnah. Uh, there can be a payment schedule. In the Maliki school, the dowry can be paid immediately upon the marriage contract and nikah, or deferred to a later date as agreed upon by the bride and the groom. This flexibility allows for arrangements that suit both parties. Gifts and non-material dowry. The dowry does not have to be in the form of money. It can include any valuable items or assets, such as jewelry, property, or goods that the bride and groom mutually agree upon. Mutually agree upon. Mutually agree upon. Review an agreement. It is recommended for the dowry to be clearly stated and agreed upon during the marriage contract ceremony. Both parties should be fully aware of the terms and conditions regarding the dowry. Okay, so I put a summary in there, but I don't think we have to. I don't think we have to go into the summary because I done went 4 minutes past, well, actually 14 minutes past where I wanted to go with it. Okay, so we getting ready to open up the floor for discussion. You ready, Nada? Okay. 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 Give me 1 second, y'all. Let me send these invites. Darius, I just sent you the invite. If you got an iPhone or you on you on a computer, a MacBook, you got to copy the link and open up Google Chrome and paste the link in Google Chrome. For whatever reason, StreamYard does not work with StreamYard doesn't work with uh Safari. And we're gonna get into the comments, the questions, comments, and concerns. I can't find Sister Malika. Can you send it to her? Oh, I got it. I found it. I was looking for her profile picture. She changed it. Okay. Okay. Oh, so also too about the the 480 dirhams. You ready? You ready now? Huh? No. I'm done with my presentation. It's your turn. Okay. All right. Boom. We got the brother, the brethren. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. Hear me all right?
Yeah, you sound great. Sound
Alhamdulillah,
great.
alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah.
Trying to be like a scholar like you one day, you know what I'm saying? Got a
No.
course.
I'm a scholar in the sense that I study, not in the
MashaAllah.
authoritative state.
Hey,
Inshallah, one day I'll be a scholar, and I'm gonna give
I
this bad
mean,
boy for free.
word, word.
Okay, all right. So let's Sister Nyla give her. Oh, it is. It's echoing bad. Here,
Buzzing.
you got yours in?
Hmm.
Can you hear that? Can y'all hear that, Dennis?
Yeah, you got a good echo going on.
Ooh-wee. Okay. Did it go away?
I think it might be from your wife's side.
Buzzing too.
Yeah, it don't hear from
Nah, it
you.
sounds like it's going now.
Oh, okay.
Okay, test
Alhamdulillah.
it.
Yeah,
One,
yeah,
two,
yeah.
three.
Y'all good.
Testing 1, 2, 3.
He said we good.
Okay. All right. Okay, go ahead. So Nyla and Sister Malika when she comes back will be
The echo is from your computer.
it is.
Turn your
Yeah.
volume down, maybe.
You might have to
I don't
mute Facebook. If you haven't muted
how do
Facebook, you have to do that.
how should I do that?
Mute your mic.
Uh, I can't mute my mic if I'm talking.
No. If you like on Facebook, since you got Facebook open, I think you
Oh,
could mute that mic, huh?
Facebook mic?
Yeah, well, the volume. Mute the volume on Facebook since you got StreamYard because you got the two systems open. That's probably what's causing the echo.
Yeah. Well, let me do this. I just relocate that way because I think I'm about because she's right behind me.
Oh, see, yeah.
All right, go now. Go ahead. I just moved to the other room.
Okay. Alhamdulillah. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillah. Wassalatu wassalamu ala Rasulullah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Assalamu alaikum, everyone.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam.
Oh, there goes Sister Malika. Alhamdulillah. So I'm just reading the comments and alhamdulillah. It's kind of crazy. As I read the comments, I see a lot of sisters are kind of like shaming the sisters that has a lower dowry, such as myself. Alhamdulillah. When I got married, you good? Okay. So upon me getting married, for my dowry, honestly, I was one of those that just said, teach me Quran. Not give me a Quran, but teach me the Quran. And alhamdulillah, my husband Abdul Kabir, he gave me more than that. He gave me a ring. I had a trip to Florida. And alhamdulillah, since we've been married, it only been 3 years. We done been all across the world. Okay. I can't even remember how many trips we done took. Okay. I'm the one that eat $150 steaks and all the other stuff. So, I'm just here to tell you that, a low dowry doesn't mean anything. And like the post I made the other day, a high dowry doesn't prevent you from, getting hurt. It just doesn't. Neither does a low dowry do, and for me, it was more of, I truly, sincerely wanted to be married for the deen. I wasn't desperate or anything at all, because honestly, I had a police officer interested. I had about 3 truck drivers interested. I mean, you name it. I had all different type of brothers interested, so for me, it wasn't a desperate thing. It wasn't about money. I mean, I had a brother that was, came up to Toledo ready to sign his nice vehicle over to me. That doesn't move me at all whatsoever. I needed someone with the deen. I needed someone that can lead me, in the deen. And that was what was important to me. No amount of money, was important to me at all whatsoever. So yes, I am one of the sisters that, my dowry was very, very small, alhamdulillah. And, I have no complaints. I don't regret it at all. If I had to do it again, it'll be the same again, alhamdulillah.
It be all about intentions also. The intentions of the sister. Because a lot of sisters get married for financial reasons.
Most definitely. And at the
That's
time,
why they
I
ask for
had
them high dowries and stuff like that. But if you a woman that doesn't have a husband, you should be able to take care of your bills anyway, whether he was your husband or not. My
most
dowry was $1. I asked my husband for $1.
hold on, let me turn this on mute.
A lot of women, and it ain't even about being Muslim. It's about being a woman, and a lot of women are gold diggers. A lot of them are. They want the Gucci bags. They want the lace front wigs, and they want all of that stuff. They don't care if he a Muslim man or if he right down the streets slanging bricks. They for the money.
Most definitely. And then with me and Abdul Kabir, I just understood the long-term goals. Every time we had a conversation, it was more about like, getting a home, buying a home together, long-term goals, short-term goals, so I understood that. And, we African Americans, let's just be honest, we don't come from a whole lot at all. So I just don't see the justification of asking for so much when you don't even come from so much. I
Right.
don't get it. It just
Can I
doesn't
interject?
add up to me. Yes.
So, in listening to, and I've been single for a while. Alhamdulillah. I do believe that I'll be married. I do believe I have children. I'm a healthy brother. Allah allows me to last. I think what we're seeing now is a lot of people who walk in self-sabotaging. They're walking in with a defeatist attitude. But
Hmm.
now the other
Most
side of
definitely.
it is too is, and I'm gonna just speak anecdotally from my point of view. If a sister tell me this is she wants X, Y, and Z, and I don't either have it, or if I don't want to do it, I don't. Salaam alaikum, sister. It was a pleasure to meet you. I'm one like brothers. Stop complaining. Just walk on by. If you don't have it, if you don't want to do it, then don't. There's nothing. This is if she wants to, and this is what I've seen other brothers when they get married, right? If she wants you, she's going to work with you. Now that kind of segues a little bit to what I said to Abdul. Is it was a little bit of a statistic, right? And it showed based on the cost of the wedding, essentially, right, which we can equivalent that to our dowries or maharas as Muslims. The lower the cost, the lower the likelihood for divorce. Above 20%, I want to say the number was like 1.64, give or take, in terms of probability for divorce. And we know that to be true. The statistics are out there. If we just look at the actual numbers. Now, that's not to say I believe that it was a time when a sister checked Khalifa Umar ibn al-Khattab anhu in regards to the mahar, right, where the sister can ask what she wants, and this goes back to what I just said. Yeah, you can ask for what you want. It doesn't mean that you're going to get it. Because correct me if I'm wrong, we're Muslim. We believe in the qadr of Allah. What's written for you is written for you. You could want whatever you want all day long. You know what I'm saying? And I think people fail to realize too is that we hear a lot of this. Well, if it's meant for you, it won't pass you. That's true, but Allah also gives us free will too. You can miss a blessing.
Most definitely.
You can
miss a couple
because there's a lot of qualified marriageable men out here that just doesn't have the funds. They don't have that amount of money, and that should not exempt them from getting married.
Having all of the funds. It's the fact we got to factor in people. Everybody has their own financial load and things. Like I must just speak for myself. I got student loans. This is what I got before. You know what I'm saying? I was Muslim, what have you. Alhamdulillah. Allah has blessed me with the things that I have today, and inshallah greater. Here's the thing though. There are brothers who can't do it, and there's brothers that ain't gonna do it. I met a sister several years ago who wanted like $10,000 in like Arab gold. And this is like 3 years in the Shahada. I'm like, what the hell is Arab gold? I thought gold. Where the hell am I supposed to get Arab gold? Like
she wanted some of that Saddam Hussein money.
No, bro, you know what I'm saying? Like you want that, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, you know, but I respectfully told the sister, look, you want what you want. Alhamdulillah. I'm not able to do that, or I'm not going to do that. I met another sister who wanted 50 racks. I asked her why. She said because her Arab or Arab, you know, back home we say Arab. It ain't nothing disrespectful to anybody listening. I'm from New Orleans. We say Arab. She wanted the 50 racks because her homegirls was getting the 50 racks, but those same homegirls' husbands were having to get loans to pay the mahar. Correct me if I'm wrong. We ain't supposed to do that though, right?
I'm not aware if that's not okay. I think you can get a loan.
The fact that it's a loan and it's dealing with riba,
interest.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
At that point, you asking for a mail order bride. You might as well order her off of Amazon.
Wait. So she only wanted that amount because her friends was getting that amount?
Because her friends, yes.
But see, that's a big issue though. That's a big issue. And one thing I wanted to bring to this conversation is that alhamdulillah, we all go to the masjid together. So the sisters, you know, it'd be Pakistani sisters, Arab sisters, African sisters, and African American sisters, you know, all up, you know, on the floor together and that Jumu'ah together. And some of our sisters, or just this probably applies to women in general, but I know it applies to our sisters because in my first marriage, I had to have this conversation and I wasn't really ready for the conversation. My first wife started asking for just all this crazy stuff, new car, this, that, but she was seeing all of the other ethnicities, you know, the women pulling up in the big Benz and you know all of, like some of the Arab and the Pakistani sisters, you know, they pulling up a big business. They got the brand new Volvo, the Audis, but even though we all pray together on the Musalla, they're not oppressed like we are in this country. They don't have it hard like we do.
Let me tell you what else it could be, because you know when I have my nail salon, there was a lot of women that used to come in there, and you know, they loved the religion, right? The first thing they would say was like, yeah, and y'all religion, my money is my money and his money is my money, you know. So they already come into it, you know, just wanting, you know.
So y'all go ahead and preacher come out of me, because see, you mentioned something. See, it's about like it's keeping up with the Joneses, right? That's what we see in social media. Everybody, I want this because she got this and he got this kind of female or this kind of woman, whatever, what have you, right? We don't know what's going on behind those same closed doors, though. That sister might be driving up in that Benz or that Audi or what have you, and she could be getting her head knocked upside the wall every night too. Or
Boom.
the other sister
Bow,
that,
bow, bow.
you know what I'm
There
saying?
you
Or the
go.
other sister, and you know, I'll tell you something. Like, it was a year after I took Shahada, it was a sister that I was interested in, and she was of a different ethnicity. You know what I'm saying? At the time, I was not exposed to so many African American brothers and sisters who were Muslim. You know what I'm saying? But you know, teachers on whatever. That same, I didn't find out. Long story short, I didn't find out that she was actually interested in me until a year after, when she was getting a divorce. The family forced her to marry that brother. Come to find out, he was on a DL. He was a drunkard, and he was a dope fiend. You see what I'm saying? We don't know what people see. That's all a facade. That's all a facade. We as a black people, if we look at our big mamas and big daddies, and unfortunately, many of our generations, there's a generational divide that we've lost that. We've lost that. We've lost seeing the elder couples, how they work with each other. You know what I'm
Most
saying? We
definitely.
lost where, you know what I'm saying? If Big Daddy was a little short on the bill, Big Mama got out there, she might have cleaned a couple of houses, whatever, but she
Oh, for
never
sure.
And that's the importance of marriage. You get what I'm saying? Your children get to benefit from it. Your daughters get to see how, you know, how to take care of the man, you know, how
right.
you know, treat your husband, you know, how they supposed to treat their brothers,
And
and
she
then
never emasculated him. She
Yeah,
never
but
made him feel less than a man.
this Western society teaching this generation something completely different. They teaching them monetary things mean wealth.
Well,
So
see,
they
and that
demasculating the
goes
men.
into
It's a
it,
lot
right?
of women out here making more money than the men or whatever. So they think they are above the men. So that's where the demasculation come in at. When that's why a lot of sisters are divorced. They don't know how to hold their tongues. Yeah, you know how to be independent, you know how to pay your bills, you know how to do this and do that. But you know,
Here's my
you
question,
might meet a
sister.
man that ain't got all of that.
But here's my thing. We always hear this word independent being thrown around. I remember talking to, I'm gonna use my own anecdotal, subjective, personal experiences. I was talking to a sister. She said, "Yeah, I'm independent. I pay my own bills and this and that." I said, "Who are you independent of?"
mm,
You
that's
because
why
what you
that's
saying
why I
is,
But
made that
most
that's why I
women
made
try to
that
be
post.
independent of a man.
but
That's
see,
what
this
it
That
is
is
the thing.
is.
that's what
This is the
exactly,
thing,
you
though.
took words right out of my mouth. That's why I made that post that kind of went crazy when I said men have,
You worded
responsibilities,
that
and
all
it's
wrong, my brother, but that's why you got attacked the way you did.
no,
But
I worded it the way it is. It's just an ugly reality.
Mhm.
Men work and we independent, and we know that we got women and children dependent on us. But women will work so that they can be independent of a man.
yeah, they will.
Well, see, and here's
But you
my
know,
thing. Can we stop saying, like, there needs to be a push to stop saying this independent stuff, because at the end of the day, ain't nobody independent of nobody else. It's called being an adult. Getting
Yeah.
up and going to work and paying your bills is not independent, because you're dependent upon the boss man or the boss woman. You're dependent upon paying your taxes so you don't go to jail. You're dependent upon, you know what I'm saying? There's a level of dependence as human beings. We are dependent upon Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If somebody is so independent, I would not want to be around them with that mindset, right? Because that's going to lead me to think that you think you independent of God. And we
That's really what it's going to turn. That's really what that can turn into, and it kind of looks like it has turned into that because we have to remember in the Quran, Allah Subhanahu wa Taala said that the men are the protectors and maintainers of the women. So there is no independence in Islam. Now, if a sister is going through a hard time and she hasn't found her a husband, and the men in her family are just sorry or whatnot, then yeah, of course you got to do what you got to do. But I think we haven't had this conversation enough, and we most definitely have not learned about marriage outside of Islam and after we all took our shahadas inside of Islam. Me and Nala is working on a course, not a course, but it's going to be a some lessons about marriage. What is marriage? What marriage should be? What it should look like? And we're gonna get that incorporated into these conversations because we're bringing the guys too. Guys think they pimps and players, and females. What do y'all call yourself? I don't know what the females call, but the females think they're gonna be able to get as much as the money out of the man as they can without giving up as much bed as they can. That's the game. I didn't make the rules. I didn't make reality. That's what's going on. And we have brought that mentality into Islam. Both of us, on both sides, the men and the women. We haven't adopted that the Islamic identity of a husband and a wife. And that is really, really, really hurting us.
Well, part of the thing of it too, bro, is you have people that are looking for that immediate perfection. I want the exact thing that I'm looking for right there. And that's not the truth. Like, I call them the 6 C's. You have compatibility. No one is going to be 100% compatible with the next person, right? Those elders, they grew in compatibility. They worked and
That's a good point.
You will never be able to truly know somebody. It takes a lifetime. Because we're evolving all of the time, right? We're always growing, especially those of us, like I know you, your wife, I don't know the other sister, but I'm gonna make a positive assumption. I said, dude, I got so many books. I'm ingesting 1-2 books a month. Inshallah, I try. You know what I'm saying? Number 2, you got to look at you have compatibility, you have communication. But here's the thing: people talk about communication, but they don't discuss. Or they don't ask the opposite person that they're courting, how do you communicate and how do you receive communication? The way I speak to one of y'all, you may receive it in a different light. We got to think about regional differences. Like I know my good brothers from Ohio. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how y'all necessarily talk compared to how we are in New Orleans. However, the beauty of being Black is we have an ebb and a flow. We talk with a context. You know what I'm saying? But however, there may be some explanation that needs to occur. Connectivity. Do we connect? Comfortability. Here's my thing when it comes to comfortability. I've told sisters before, love will come. I want to like you. I want to like coming home to you. I want to like talking to you. I want to like hearing about you. I want to like you. You know what I'm saying? Because love, you could be madly in love with somebody 1 minute, they work your last John Brown nerve. You know what I'm saying? But if you like that person, the other thing is compromise and cooperation. I think we conflate the two, many in our community. Compromise is what are you willing to sacrifice that is not debilitating to your moral and value structure? And cooperation, can we act like a team? And this what they say, 10 to 20 is not a lot of money.
Hey, let's jump straight on that. I can't, as y'all can see, we can't see who this person is. Nyla, can you see who that is that said that? I can't see who that is. I hope it wasn't a brother.
A lot of men, see, this is the other thing.
Was that a brother?
No, it was a sister. Yeah, it was a sister.
So statistically speaking, the average African American woman makes $28,000 to $38,000 a year. The average African American man makes $38,000 to $48,000 a year. This is a year. This is how much money is made, not how much money is kept, not how much money you have left over after you paid all your bills for the whole year. You got to live out of that $48,000. So With that being said, if anybody would say $10,000 to $20,000, I can't see who said that. You can't be African American or Latino. You absolutely positively cannot be. You asking for if a
She from
woman
Ghana. She from Ghana.
who said that?
African
Who said that?
Yeah.
Oh, sister, stop.
She must be over there with the African kings. I mean, geesh.
$20,000 for a dowry in US dollars is half of a man's yearly income. The average African American in the United States African American man makes 48, and that's doing good. $48,000, and I still got to pay bills out of that. Mind you, the average cost of living, what it takes to be average as far as cost of living in the United States is like $75,000. So African American men are already 30 some odd $1,000 short below what's considered an average lifestyle in America. So if somebody that asks for a quarter or a half of what I make for a whole entire year, dare I say it, I'm gonna go over here and give Dawa to Shanquisha. Because Shanquisha just won't, and this is and I'm telling y'all, sisters, I can't say this enough. When we get off into this Zuzu and La La land, this is how Shanquisha becomes Muslim. And then Shanquisha brings all this fitna into the community because she ain't truly embraced Islam. Shanquisha don't want no $10,000, $20,000 up front. If a man just come through the door and say he willing to take her to Ruth Chris Steakhouse and get her a $200 dinner, these poo butt dudes out here ain't even doing that. So they happy. Let alone talking about some $10,000, $20,000 and to even entertain a conversation of marriage. You know what I'm saying? So that's cap.
People need to stop making these comparisons that are subjective to their own personal experience and environment, unless you're using it as an example. Just because the men, quote unquote, and we don't know this to be true or not because we don't know you. We don't know your family. So just because they can do it, marry them. Marry them. Stop bringing that foolishness because you can't compare apples and oranges. Just because it's a fruit don't mean it has the same contents. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Just because it's like, oh, well, so-and-so can do it, why can't you? What happened to the qadr of Allah? What happened to the qadr of Allah? Alhamdulillah. I'm not going to say how much I make. Alhamdulillah, I'm doing well. Alhamdulillah, I'm doing well. And I'm not about to sit there and pay 10, 20 grand. I'm the only child. I got my mama back home. I'm preparing to have to deal with her. You know what I'm saying? I do want children. So if I'm going to sit here and drop 10 or 20 grand, now realize, and you just dropped this, the mahar could be asked back. Are you going to have those funds if that brother asks for it back?
Yeah. Now let's play with that.
And then also,
let's play with that. And onto that, let's not forget, the man has the right to divorce, not the woman. I see too many women, I see too much conversation on Facebook and in real life where the sister be so fed up, and when she fed up, she's like, oh, I'm going to leave him, or I'm going to divorce him. That don't exist in Islam. Sisters, that do not exist in Islam. You can request a khul'a from your local imam or somebody of knowledge, and if the brother wants to give you the khul'a, not the talaq, he can ask for whatever he wants for your freedom. That's how that works. So if you come into the marriage with that whole bad B mentality, and you like, oh, the $25,000 ain't coming fast enough, I'm ready to go, I don't want to be with you no more, and you just start cutting the food, all right, fine. Sit there and cut a food. I'm going to go get another wife, and I ain't going to release you. Are you going to be stuck right there? This is what's going on. This is what's going on.
Let me trip your head out, too. A lot of people don't know, brothers and sisters, you might want to check in with the law, because now in many states, they are recognizing Islamic marriages as under the law, so that you are signing a legal contract. So I say that to say, you want that 10, 20 grand, and you have you get divorced, and that man asks for that mahar back, that's called a breach of contract. That man can sue you for not just those funds, but he could also, there's added stipulations on breaching a contract, not including and not limited to emotional duress or emotional distress. So you got to understand what you're asking for. You
I
know what I'm
mean,
saying?
even aside from that, if we claim to be sincere Muslims, because I know a lot of us is not married up under the law. If
Mhm.
we claim to be sincere Muslims, and you think you think that you just gonna cut a fool until he gets tired of you and he get rid of you, and he doesn't, and you take off and you move out and you do your whole independent woman thing that y'all do, you haram. You still
Gotta
my
stand up
wife.
for the law.
I haven't divorced you. You asked for khula, I reject it. I said, okay, if you want khula, I want my $25,000 back. I want what I put in it. I want that back because I felt like you played me. You feel
That's
like
a
I played you?
protection for the men.
Allah is fair. So if I do cut a fool and I just divorce you and I done drug you off
I'm
all
glad
into
you
my
said
life
it.
and all of that, then yeah, you ain't got to give it back, sis. But brothers are aware of their rights. And if you feel like you just gonna cut a fool and you take off to the next state and you go and try to remarry with another brother, maybe we can't stop you. But Allah sees you, sister.
And it ain't
Allah
gonna be
sees you.
successful.
You haram. You haram for that next man. Period. And every time you lay down with that man, I don't care if you recreate your identity, you delete your old Facebook, make a new name and get a new Facebook, move clear across the country or the world. Every time y'all lay down together, it's zina. It's zina. So that's one thing we got to get understood as
And here's
well.
wait, but here's the flip part. Here's the trip part about it. And mashallah, your wife is a great example. Mashallah, tabarakallah. There are men, sisters, and I will count myself into this, who you will get more out of him in the long run of the marriage than you would in the beginning. There are brothers
You get
that
more.
you will get more. You will get more. You won't. He may not. You know what I'm saying? It may not that he doesn't have it. Like I said, it could be that he doesn't want to do something like that because he's looking for a team mate, a help mate. You know what I'm saying? I can cook, I can clean, I clean the house. But you know what? Here's the thing. If I have a wife that's cooking, I'm going to clean up behind her. We acting as a team. Then my wife is out here doing this, that, and the other. And I know what my responsibilities are as a Muslim husband. She's going to get more out of me because the less that you ask of me, the more I'm going to want to do. And we could look at the example of the Prophet ﷺ, and all of the prophets, really and truthfully, their wives were down with them, bar none. You know what I'm saying? So if you think about it, you asking for something up front. That's just like Drew Brees or Tom Brady want they want their Super Bowl rings up front. You ain't work for that player. You wasn't shooting with me in the gym.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Somebody said in the comments that in the time of the Prophet Sallallahu, he gave Khadija radiallahu ta'ala anha a camel, and they estimated that a camel in his time was about 10,000 minimum. That would contradict. They might not. That person who said that might not have seen the beginning of this program, where Omar. That contradicts what Omar said. Omar. Actually, matter of fact, I actually brought a couple of narrations, but I don't like to try to beat people across the head with the book. I want to make this knowledge learning conversational. But there, matter of fact, I'm gonna bring this. I'm gonna bring it back up to the screen. So both of these, all of these are several narrations about the Prophet ﷺ not giving his wives that much money. And one of them, hold on, where's the other one? The one down here that I highlighted right here, I'm just going to paraphrase, and I'm paraphrasing the hadith. I have to state that. That hadith right there, Aisha was being asked. Aisha was being spoken to.
Was this Aisha? Let me make sure. Sorry, on this quote.
Yep.
Was it Salama or Aisha?
It was
Abi
Aisha.
Salama. Yeah, so it was
Abu
Aisha. So
Salama.
Abi Salama was asking Aisha, uh, uh, what was the dowry of the Prophet, alayhi salatu wassalam, and and Aisha told him that it was no more than 12 and a half uqiyah. And she asked him, was like, do you know what 12 and a half uqiyah is? And he said, no. She was like, it's about 500 dirham. So we got several narrations from several authors that come from the Sahaba that deny that somebody would think that a camel was worth about $10,000 at that time. Omar said in the first narration I started the program with that the Prophet ﷺ was not known to have paid more than 480 dirham for his wives. And nor did he give his women away, his daughters. Fatima, Aisha and Fatima, the two best women of all creation, of all time, those two best women never received $10,000 in a dowry. And I'm going to tell you this from a man's point of view. We ain't got no whole lot of Khadijas, Aishas, and Fatimas out here. I'm just going to throw that out there. Shaquisha, you didn't change your name to Aisha. You're still not Aisha, okay? And those were the women. Those are our leaders. Those are the mother of the believers. They were the best example of women that could ever come. They didn't ask for a high dowry, nor were they offered a high dowry. So this is not the sunnah. So I think a lot of people tuned in a little late. They didn't get to see the presentation. So y'all go back to the first half hour of this video when we hang it up. I brought the presentation, what I just shared, of the fiqh of the matter and the actual narrations we have in support of having low dowries. And what we need to understand, y'all, if we have high dowries, that is encouraging zina in our community. Two things is happening. Brothers and sisters are not getting married. Wallahi ta'ala. I've been seeing the same bourgeoisie sisters. I'm talking about they fine as all get out. They beautiful. They beautiful. I'm going to say it. I'm going to put it out there. Sisters, y'all are beautiful. Y'all putting all the beautiful pictures and all 500 brothers liking it, and you got 30 brothers in your inbox begging to be with you. Fine. For at least 5 years, these types of sisters remain unmarried. Unmarried. This is counterproductive to what we're supposed to be doing as Muslims. The Prophet ﷺ said, "Marry the women that are magnificent at procreation." And then he was asked again about that. I'm paraphrasing. He was asked again about that. He said, "So that I can brag to have the best community on the day of judgment." Not get married. If you got this basketball wives mentality and you bringing that to us, you a basketball wife with a hijab on, you a love a hip hop star with a hijab on, and you keeping that mentality. You'd have had that mentality for 5 years. How many beautiful Muslim children could have come from you? Beautiful sister, Instagram model sister. How many beautiful women could have come? Not women, children could have come out of you.
But see,
How many beautiful children could have come out of you? That's the sunnah. So, and then on top of that, that is making the brothers not being able to marry you. If we had it, we'd give it. We'll give it. We'll do it. That wouldn't be nothing. We'd get a 30, 40, 50,000. We'll do it. Because we don't got a lot now, and we giving up a lot of what we got, and we don't got a lot now, so that we can have fun and enjoy our marriage and our relationships or whatnot. So if we had it, we would give it, but we don't have it. So where do y'all expect us to find it? Brothers are not getting married.
Well,
We're not
they
getting married,
y'all
so that's
fast.
making
A lot of women ain't willing to compromise. That's the problem. That's it. A lot of
and that
you
is
gotta look.
causing
You gotta
zina,
look at
that's causing fornication.
situations like this. Okay, say your husband gave you a $10,000 dowry or whatever. What if he lost his job? Now what you gonna do? Are you gonna be able to be the backbone for your husband until he able to get back on his feet, or are you gonna be the next problem? Because now he's looking for a job and now he got a gold digging wife.
Hold up, Malik. I gotta hold your thought. Don't forget your thought.
Put that comment up
Sister
there.
Nyla, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, that one where it said we ain't got a lot of Umars and Abu Bakrs and.
Oh no. We can get to that one too. Sister Nyla, give this sister. I assume it's a sister. I can't see who it is. Give this sister some nasiha about what she just said.
What she say?
It says she tagged, I guess, her sister named Minnie Loca, and she said, "I don't agree
I
with
don't know
what
what
he
she's talking
said."
about.
But she talking about when I said women can't ask for a divorce. She's basically saying women can't ask for a divorce, and that's oppression. Give her some nasiha.
No.
What did
I
you
mean,
just learn about that?
in order for you to ask for divorce, what is talking in my ear? Something is talking in my ear.
That's the soul solutions.
Shut up.
Oh,
You know I
I'm
was
looking
gonna
like,
watch my husband too. Don't do me like that. Find something safe to do,
look,
Abdul Kabir.
I'm over here going crazy. I'm
Shots
like, what is
fired.
I
playing
thought I
in
was
my
losing my
ear?
mind for a minute. Yeah.
So in order to ask for
I
divorce,
know I'm hearing Khalil's voice from a mile away.
yeah, I'm looking like, man, what the hell is going on over here?
Now, what kind of wife would I be if I wasn't watching my husband too?
Hey, I ain't
You right.
complaining. Shout out to the Soul Solutions, Masjid Uthman Danfodio in Philly, one of the few Masjid of Sunnah in Philadelphia. What you about to say, Nyla?
Oh,
Don't forget your thought, Malika.
I was just getting ready to tell the sister that is not oppression. First off, you have to have a valid reason to even divorce. And secondly, what is it? Dang, I wish I had the book. There's a hadith that says the woman that asks her husband for a divorce will not enter paradise.
Hold up, fix it. The woman who asks her husband for a divorce
For no valid reason.
For no valid reason. And those, so this is relevant because I guess it's obvious that our sisters don't know the rights of marriage. So, sister, you've sadly mistaken to what you said. It's not a matter of you agreeing with what I said. This is Islam, sister. We don't, that's why I made that point. That's why I brought that up. We don't have this independent mentality where the women are alone. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I'm assuming that this sister is Muslim who said this. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said it in the Quran. If I remember the ayah correctly, somebody correct me. الَّذِينَ قَوَّمُونَ عَلَى النِّسَاءِ. The men, الرِّجَالُ قَوَّمُونَ عَلَى النِّسَاءِ. The men are the protectors and the maintainers of the women. There ain't no free independent women. That don't exist in Islam. Like one of the scholars, a recent scholars said, okay, let's give the Western idea of independence let's give the women the benefit of the doubt. You walking down the street by yourself, a robber run up on you and grab your purse. Who the first person you gonna call? A man. As soon as a woman getting loud in the restaurant or something, and he holler, punch her in the face. What's the first thing she gonna do? Y'all see all the viral videos. Y'all just gonna stand there and let this dude put his hands on me? Blah 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 blah. She gonna get taken by a man. If she want a divorce and she want to go through this and she want to do that, and she go file papers in the courtroom, whatever, 9 out of 10 of all of the U.S. judges are men. Where she got to go and sit in the courtroom, and who got to hear her case? A man. So it's not even logical that women are independent of men. That's not even logical. So we need to get that understood. Men are abusing this authority that we have over women. Yes. Different conversation for a different day. But we need to bring this back home. We can't have that belief. We can't have this mentality in our community as a belief. These are our women. One of my shuyukhs told me a long time ago when I was asking him, I was like, man, so, when the women shouldn't go by themselves to the store and, the whole thing about the maharim and all of that. And I was like, he told me, he was like, listen, the women belong to their family. They don't belong to you. They're not your right that you should be looking on them and lusting after them and whatever the filthy things that we see people do with women right now to this day, i.e. sexy red. None of women win these situations. Y'all don't win these situations. Even if you want to become an Instagram model, you want to become an OnlyFans model. The OnlyFans ladies is giving up 80% of that money that they make to the man that's pimping them on OnlyFans. They have an 80-20 deal.
Tricking ain't easy.
80-20. That's pimping. You want to be independent? It's hard for a woman to be out here independent. Why do you think OnlyFans exists? OnlyFans exists because it's not built. The world The history of mankind is not built for women to be independent. It's not. The men are going to get to the money before the women do. Period. And even in this heightened age of women's rights and Western progression, men still make more money on average than men. Period. Yeah, men than women.
Yeah.
Period. Wait, I don't get pregnant and gotta take a maternity leave. I don't get 9 months of aggravation and sleepy and I gotta be sick and it might be hard for me to work. I don't get that. Which is the reason why it's the United States have permitted companies to legally discriminate against women. Because that messes up the bag. If you can't come to work because you're pregnant, I can't get no production. I don't get no production, I can't sell my product. I can't make no money. So it's never going to be set up that way. It will never be women equal with men. This is illogical. That will never happen. But y'all are equal with us spiritually as human beings. We all gonna be judged the same on the day of judgment. But in this world, Allah gave the degree over the man over the woman. That's it. So y'all have to respect that, and I don't think that's being respected, to say the least.
Well,
But the Sister Malika, I cut her off. You remember your point?
Yeah.
Go
You
ahead.
know, a lot of women ain't willing to compromise. So, you know, like, oh, you know, they come into the relationship with my money is my money. And, you know, so they ask for them high dowries and stuff like that. But, like, what if he loses his job? Then what you gonna do? Like, women ain't willing to help build a foundation. They want everything built when they get there. You gotta be willing to help build a foundation. To build a house, you gotta have a foundation first. But most of these women that's asking for these high dowries, and I'm gonna keep it all the way 100, ain't even worth $10 because they get them high dowries and ain't even married long.
They blow it.
They blow it.
Clothes
They
and shoes.
buying bags and they doing all of this and all of that, but half of them ain't even worth. Ain't before they got the dowry ain't got 2 nickels to rub together. That's the problem. The woman so into gimme, they never can give to somebody. It's always about taking from somebody. Like anything that I'm accessible to, if it's $1 million, my husband accessible to the $1 million also. And that's the problem. Women selfish. And at times they only think about themselves. And when women start to realize that, the one thing a woman got to realize is to get better results in men, you got to become a better woman. Bad women attract bad men. Bad men attract bad women. You got to be
Absolutely.
willing to be something better to get something better. And trying to get rich off a brother ain't going to do it.
That's what it would sound like. Like
I'm
when
gonna
men
sit here
hear.
quiet. I hear elder wisdom being dropped.
I'm
I
just
should
trying
be
to figure
dropping it for sure.
why is it all about money? Whatever happened to if a man has good character and if he has deen?
They ain't looking for that. That's the thing
Whatever
about that.
happened
They
to
ain't
that?
looking for that. They ain't
Speaking
looking
of
for a
that,
man that got good character or he got good morals or he know the Quran or nothing like that. They looking for a man who can provide. What's the first thing a
speaking,
woman say when she looking for a husband? I want a provider. They don't
yep,
say I
that's
want
true.
a Abdul Kabir my
A
wakil.
good Muslim.
What did I tell you I wanted out of a husband?
Well, first thing you told me what you don't need, which was money.
Right.
I don't need that. I'm straight. Make
Yeah, I got my own bag.
and Dean. I need to be taught this Dean, and I need a Deanie life facilitated. And wallahi, her husband, who she's married to now, was the first person that came to my head. He was the first person who came to my head. But you know, I'm like, the brother, he's tough. The brother tough. So I was like, yeah, let me delay that decision. And wallahi, alhamdulillah, they found each other without me even having to get involved. That's how Allah subhanahu
Let
wa
me
ta'ala works.
slide up in here
And
real
when
quick.
she called me and was like, hey, what about this, brother? I said, that was the first person that came to my mind when you told me, what you wanted.
So let me slide up in
But
here.
on that topic, brother Isa, before we shift, with what you about to say, brother Asa Shakir from the city. He asks, "What is giving a woman 3 pages of Quran anyway?" What is that? Is stuff like that. So we got a lot. First and foremost, we got to understand there's a lot of evidence in the Sunnah. I got to reiterate throughout this program. It is not the high dowries or unimaginable dowries. It's not the Sunnah, and we're ordered to follow the Sunnah of the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. And the Sunnah of the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam were lower dowries, as we see the sister corrected herself or corrected us. That ain't what she meant. But and just on that page that I shared, it had many different instances where the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam permitted low dowries. So, and onto what Sister Malika just said, there's a narration on that page I just shared the screen with, there where a sister, it came to the knowledge of the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam that a sister was married for a pair of sandals. A sister was married for a pair of sandals. And he asked the sister, was like, "You good with that?" She said, "Yeah, I'm good with that." He said, "Okay, the marriage is good." And this was, so mind you, this was a Sahabi. These are the people who we were ordered to follow. We were ordered to follow the Sahaba. Prophet said his Sahaba are like the stars in the sky. So any one of them that we follow will be guided. So she had a good man who could provide Islamic guidance to her and for her. And it's going to establish an Islamic home with her children. So the answer to that question of what is a dowry of 3 pages of the Quran or 1 page of the Quran or even a verse of the Quran is that Allah, the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam exhorted the men and the women to marry for the deen, not for money, to marry for the deen. So that's what my wife said she wanted to. She said, just teach me the Quran, teach me Arabic, and teach me the Quran. That's something that's going to go with her in her afkirah.
Sadaqah Jariyah.
That's better than $20,000, $10,000, $50,000, unless such a woman would take that $25,000 and give it away for sadaqah. That's the only way. That's the only way she's gonna get the equivalent of 3 pages of the Quran.
The thing is, I've gotten way more than that. I done had multiple $10,000.
What you about to say, brother?
Y'all, a lot.
But see what this y'all both alluded to, and Sister Malika did too. We have a problem with people in the deen wanting this Burger King religion. They want it their
Have it your way.
Exactly. That's just like when we see they nitpick certain variations of the hadith. They pick the ones that fits their agenda to make them right instead of looking at everything. The perfect example is when it was I think it was 2 men that approached the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam. It was an older man and a young man during Ramadan. The older man asked the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, could he approach his wife during the daytime, during the fast? The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said yes. The young man asked the same thing. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said no. Same situation, 2 answers. Why? Because it's the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam in his wisdom that was granted by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's not a one-size-fit-all situation. Just because, and I'm gonna go back to this, because something you said, like, I want women and everybody to understand this. Nobody is saying you can't ask what you want. Ask for what you want. Nobody is saying that you need to marry into poverty. No, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us that He gave us logic, but Allah is out of razak. Allah is the greatest provider. I'm one to tell you, and I won't tell my whole story. You know what I'm saying? But I got in a little trouble here and there. Allah set me down. And when He set me down, it was like door opening. And that's when the door of Islam opened up to me as well. You know what I'm saying? I think that there's this, like I said, keeping up with the Joneses and this mindset that they're wanting to post things on the internet. I say like this, inshallah, I get married, I'm not putting no knee cut, like, no, it's not going on. I'm not doing no evil eye. I don't want my business out in the streets because you never know who's watching. You don't know who's hating on you. You got people that'll pray against you. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, okay, you want to keep up with these other sisters, or are they married to the same kind of brother? The brother that they married to, because of her ill intentions, she may cause their demise. They might be on the street tomorrow. Marry a good brother, and that sister might have good business acumen and be able to drop that knowledge on that brother. And now she's blessed him with the wisdom. You know what I'm saying? And now he's a better provider. That's how a team operates. And that's what those of us who consider ourselves good brothers, that's what we're looking for.
Yeah. Who is this sister? It said,
She,
why don't we get different women's opinions? I don't know who said it. You know who said that? I,
I thought
I
we
can't
got
see it. You can come up. You can come on up. You come on in this frying pan if you want to, whoever you are. I'll send you the link. You can come on. You speak your part from the to the
so
contrary.
so
Let's get it.
whoever comment that, just comment below and say it was me, and then I'll be able to see your name. That way we can bring you up.
We
Okay, it
can
was
bring.
Latrice. Bring up Latrice Brandley.
I don't have access to her. Well, send the link. You send a link to her.
Okay, Latrice, I'm about to inbox you the link. Okay, hold on.
So as far as the sister, she corrected herself or corrected us. When she said that when Khadija radiallahu ta'ala anha was given a camel, she said that wasn't worth $10,000 back then. It's worth $10,000 now. Maybe she missed the beginning of the program, but we established that we don't know. We really don't know those differences, and we can't apply that to now these times. Just like I said,
Yeah, because we ain't asking for no
400.
camels.
No. I mean, no, I mean when Omar said that none of the Prophet's women was given more than 480 dirham, nor were they any of his daughters married for more than 480 dirham, which today that equates $130.68 as of October 17th.
Is that
But
what
I was fair
inflation?
with the sisters. Yeah, exactly. That's what. So that's not a fair statement. Either way, it's not a fair statement. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so the sister Latrice is here. So it's not a fair statement either way because we can't. We can't. The value of the U.S. dollar didn't even exist at the time of the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. So if we was going to be silly about it, we'd be like, okay, the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam gave the sisters $130. We don't. It was obviously worth more than that back then. I don't know what it was worth, but we can't say the reverse. Like the sister was saying, I don't know if that's the point that she was trying to make, but just in case she was, that a camel is worth $10,000 today. Well, a camel wasn't worth $10,000 back then, so we can't use that as evidence. So Sister Latrice is here. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam. How are y'all?
Assalamu alaikum.
Alhamdulillah. We're good.
Okay,
Thanks for joining us.
No problem. I'm very new to Islam, so I just want to say that very, very, very new, like 30 days in new. So
yes, that's one of my girls from the class.
Alhamdulillah.
Mashallah.
Yes. So listen, not every woman is a gold digger. Not every woman is a gold digger. Not every woman is even unreasonable. A lot of women I'm reading in the comments are saying they just want to be happy, this, that, and the other. Me, I'm divorced. I've been married before. So for me, it wouldn't be about money. It would be about really time. Because for me, I will want something. Yes, I want stability, things like that. But if I know that the person that I'm about to marry has goals and I know what those goals are, I would try and make my dowry like to meet or try and match what the goals are, the family goals. Because if I'm correct, Muslims don't date. We
That's
don't
true.
date.
True.
So
Right.
in that case, when we're already talking about how we're going to establish our family. So in that case, my dowry, I want it to be, in comparison to what our family goals are. So not every woman is out here thinking, oh, well, I want this amount of money because I'm this, that, and the other. I don't come from poor people at all. My father right now has 500 acres in Cassopolis, Michigan, and we grow corn and soybeans. I'm not poor at all. I haven't
And,
worked for the past
and,
6 months
and your
just because
inbox
I
is finna
haven't
be
wanted
on
to.
swole after this.
So,
You got to be married by the end of the week.
I'm married
no,
now.
so what I'm saying is everybody ain't like that.
Mashallah,
My
tabarak.
husband would be mad at me. Honestly, he would be mad at me because I would want him to teach me Arabic, and I'm slow. Extra wife, I'm slow, so it'll take.
Girl,
Oh,
you
it
was
would
not
definitely take a
slow.
year. It
But
would
wait,
definitely
but
take
sis,
about
Listen,
a
let me
year.
drop this
So
on
he
you real
gonna be
quick.
mad. We don't know what
Hey,
this
hey,
is.
hey,
Latrice,
hey,
don't feel bad.
you see the brother's mellow mood voice kick in. You say, sister, so
Well,
about that 500 acres. I mean, those 500 hadith
No,
you was talking
no,
about you wanted to
no,
He's
learn.
like,
you know
I'll
what?
teach you the Quran. I
no.
got you.
Well, you know what?
I'm half
A goat,
Arab.
how
She,
about you a
she,
goat in the Arab Quran?
let me tell you something. She was the one down in the comments talking about, "Ooh, I like that brother. I like him. Who is
Listen,
he?"
he reads
Oh,
2 books
really?
a month, and that's attractive. He reads 2 books a month because I'm always studying. I'm always reading. Like right now,
Can
I
you
got to
grab
be
that
reading at
basket out of
least
there
three
for me?
or four different books at the same time. So I love to study, and I think that is very attractive in a man to be reading at least 2 books a month. That's very
Did she
attractive.
take a
She
deep
losing
breath?
her breath.
Yes,
She
I
losing
did.
her breath.
Waiting to exhale.
Hold up there now. Wait a minute. Hold up.
Waiting to exhale.
But yes, that's just my opinion. And
No,
thank
wait,
y'all
but
for hearing
sis,
me. And this has been a wonderful lesson tonight. Thank y'all.
alhamdulillah.
Barakallahu
But
feekum.
sis, before you go, I wanted to address something which you just said. And here's the thing, and this is not to lambast the sisters, anything like that. It was a post that was on Instagram, and it's a black brother. He made a great point. You got 10 lions walking down the street. 2 out the 10 lions are good lions. They ain't gonna do nothing to you, but they still look the same. Here is the problem, and I believe what you're saying. I do with my heart of hearts. The problem is that there are so many sisters that they look just like the sisters that are saying they want these exorbitant mahars and they want to live this, you know what I'm saying, whatever, what have you. So if there's no ability to differentiate between the two, then as men, how you can't ask us to, you know what I'm saying, to keep try, right? That goes into the zina becoming easy, right? Because after a period of time, right, it's just like you knocking down this, or you knocking on the door, right? You keep knocking on the same door, but the door looks exactly the same. Again, I believe what you're saying. My point is, I think the sisters of your caliber, the sisters that you're speaking of, it's time to separate yourselves some way, somehow, from those other sisters. It could be how you dress, how you whatever. I don't want to seem like I'm trying to dictate anything to you, but there's got to be a means of which to be able to differentiate between those sisters that's talking, just like y'all want to be able to differentiate between the brothers that's on their foolishness, right?
Okay, that's true. But also, can I ask you this? Please keep trying because as women, we are asked to keep trying and knocking on the same doors over and over and over again until we get the same results. I mean, we really are.
We are
We
too.
really, really, really are. So,
But
I
the
mean,
problem is, it's a
I
dual
just ask
problem,
that you
though,
give
sister, and I
every
agree with
woman the
you.
same opportunity.
I agree with you, but and here's the thing is, and I hear you. The problem is that we're all trying, but we can't differentiate. So like this is a beautiful platform. And I listen to the brother Abdul as much as I can, you know what I'm saying? Because he's always
Alhamdulillah.
dropping. I'm more of a student of Tasawwuf. You know
Hmm.
what I'm saying? So that's been my biggest thing. Um, I've been heavy on that for like the past 2-3 years now.
Mashallah,
How
tabarak.
I differentiate myself is like I got tired of the app. I try to talk to different people, what have you. We have to find a means of which, because I agree with you. Yeah, we got to keep trying. The brothers are asked to do the same. The brothers, I don't know if y'all sisters know, these old head brothers, and I'm gonna call, I ain't gonna call no names, but I'm gonna call them out. They're gonna know who they are. who have been out of the game since 1972 that want to lambast brothers as if we're the bad guys, or they're pandering because it's what sounds good. They ain't no different than the prosperity preachers. And I was a preacher.
Oh, that's
So
a fact. Yeah, that's a fact. That's a
they
big
ain't no
fact, man.
different than
That's a big
prosperity
fact.
preachers, because they know getting y'all sisters. They can one thing they do. They controlling the scenario so they can have 2, 3, 4 wives in a rotational door. They coming in having all y'all sisters coming in and doing the work and being able to utilize y'all for the wife or wives they have to threaten them. You step out of line, you know, sister so-and-so is ready to go ahead and take your spot. This is not to demonize y'all. It's not y'all fault. It's their fault. But those same imams that y'all like listening to, y'all need to, and this goes for everybody. You better start cross-referencing the information. It's not for the Sunnah. You want to know where's your ijazas? I want to know this information. I'm a professional strength and conditioning coach. I've been on the collegiate circuit, on the tactical circuit, on the high school. I have accolades. I would not refer anybody to anyone that's outside within my field if I don't know where they're coming from, right? Just like a doctor, just like a barber, just like anybody else. I say that to say we have to come together on more platforms of this, and we have to have these conversations. And the people that's talking about, oh, such and such is easy for them, going over there to the left. This ain't for you. This ain't for you. This is our conversation for people who are rational, who have intellect. I'm gonna call it with a spade, have intellect, who have forethought and forward thinking, who want to build, you know what I'm saying, and who can see further down the line. Because everybody not gonna be able to drop no $10,000, $20,000 check. If they are, I want to know what they're doing. Put me on players.
Listen,
Okay, you may not be able to drop a $10,000 or $20,000 check, but can you keep me to the standard of life that I'm living right now? And it's not that high. Like, it's really not that high, but, you know, are you able to? That's what matters. Like, you know, I think most women, I hope most women are thinking about the long term versus, you know, just an amount of money. And then not just that, is there any teaching of women? Because like I said, I'm new to Islam. Is there any teaching of women of what to do with dowries? And then are these dowries going to women or to their families?
See,
no, it goes to the woman. It goes to the woman. But in a lot of cases, like mostly in the foreign communities, like the Pakistani and the Arab communities, like they do, like the families do be arranging the mahars, the dowries, and the money is going to the families, and which is haram. That is not permissible. The money is, like I read. I don't know if you caught the beginning of it, but I read some of the fiqh parameters, the law, the Islamic law, the parameters of the Islamic law in this regard, and it has to be an agreement between the husband, the bride, and the husband to be. That's bridegroom, right? Is that the right word?
Yes.
Bridegroom and a bride. So it has to be an agreement between y'all, and that money goes directly to her. But as far as like anybody teaching any of the sisters what to do with the money, anything.
It doesn't necessarily
No, it doesn't have to be money, yeah. No, it can be anything of value.
And she was in graduate
Now,
school, she asked for a laptop.
Yeah, that's absolutely permissible. That's completely permissible.
So
yeah, it's completely permissible.
Is it the same thing for men who want to have multiple wives as well? Do they have to pay a dowry for every wife?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And that's what deters a lot of the fear that it might be another woman coming into. Now, do brothers all the time do this? No, they don't. But that's another program for another day. and sisters, don't let no man trick you into thinking that you cannot get your dowry because he already has another wife. If you got a brother in your inbox telling you, oh, well, I already got a wife and I got these bills and this sister already got this and this, that, and the third, so why don't you just take this what's left over? No, that ain't how it go. That ain't how it go. So Yeah, absolutely. He has to maintain all of them, not to the same standard. That's also a misnomer. It is
Right.
not to the same standard because, for example, if your co-wife didn't come from the background that you come from, maybe she grew up in the projects, and she's just a good sister. He's not obligated to bring her up to your status, nor is he permitted to bring you down to her status. So he
Well,
has to
she
be able
ain't
to
gonna got to worry
maintain each
about it.
one
She
where
ain't
they
got to
at.
worry about it because I can assimilate. Sis, we'll be in the projects together until we rise up. No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
Mashallah, mashallah.
Alhamdulillah.
Right, yeah, alhamdulillah. But did y'all get it? Okay, did she go? Okay. All right. Well, thank you, sister, for coming. Assalamu alaikum. uh, so about this, so they're saying it is oppression that the man would not release the woman. And I can see in some of the comments, there's a lot of comments, y'all. So I'm gonna try to get to as many as I possibly can. Um, this is not like law that the man does not have to give the woman the khula. This is not the law. This is it's first and foremost it's recommended to work it out. The reason why, and we got to understand this, y'all. The reason why the right of divorce is not in the woman's hand is because women are emotional. They are emotional, and that's not a bad thing. We have did a disservice to our women over here in the United States or in the Western world. We've done a disservice to make them think that they have to be hard, tough, irrational men like men are emotionally. Y'all don't have to be like that. It's okay to be emotional. It's y'all have to be like that because y'all got to take care of the kids. I'm out chopping wood all day trying to earn money and catching deers and stuff and bringing them back home. Y'all at home with the kids. So when the kid fall, yeah, it's 4, 5 kids running the house, and y'all have the capability. Me and the guys talk about this all the time. Y'all have the capability for if each one of them 4 or 5 kids fall down and scrape their knee, y'all can tend to each one of them at different times. It can happen 5 and 10 minutes apart. And y'all can, oh, baby, are you okay? And y'all can nurse the child back to sanity. What the man gonna do? Suck it up. Get up. Quick, roll over. Get up. What you doing? All right, you okay? All right, dust it off. All right, I'll see you
Put some
later.
water on it.
Y'all are supposed to be emotional. That's a strength. Y'all not supposed to have them same qualities as a man. God, you a dog, so I'm a dog too. Haram alaikum. This ain't that. That's not how it's supposed to be. So yeah, so that weakness emotionally is a strength. And in regards to marriage, it's a strength because women get bothered. They're more temperamental than men are. Y'all get bothered quicker than we do. So as you can see, the number one cause for divorce in America is what? Anybody know the answer?
I was gonna say no fault divorce.
No, finances.
That one
It's the
too.
number one cause for divorce in America. And this is the place where women lead the way, quote unquote. Because if they don't feel like things is going the way that it should be going, financially speaking, because in the vast majority of the marriages in America, both Muslim and non-Muslim, the man is the breadwinner and he is the caretaker and he makes more money. So that means he's going to yield more financial responsibility. So who is it not working out for? The man who is more than likely to be the breadwinner financially, or the woman?
Mm.
It's the woman, and she get in a tizzy when things ain't working out. I can't do this. He ain't providing. You know how they say, well, I'll provide. He ain't providing. They going there with it, and now they downtown filing the papers. So women are they get a little bit more bothered than men do. And we're a lot more rational. We might have some problems going on, and the problems might be ongoing. But men, we long-term thinkers. We don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. We don't be like, oh, you did this, you out of here. You got to go. Pack it up. You and the kids, y'all got to go. But what do women do? I'm taking me and my kids, and I'm out of here. I'm gonna go stay with my mama. I'm gonna go stay with my sister. I'm gonna go stay with my other baby daddy. They packing up and taking the kids because they just not gonna take it. I ain't gonna let this man treat me like this. This is on the third, and they go dive in the middle of the ocean before they allow this man to treat them this kind of way. And I'm not advocating domestic violence or nothing like that, because obviously in Islam, that's once we can prove domestic violence of any shape, form, or fashion, the marriage is over with. But this is not a thing where every time the woman is upset, she can just up and bounce and leave out of the marriage. So it's not oppression. And that was, I get what you're trying to say, that the man would, and men do abuse this right. But that rule is set in place so that maybe things calm down and then y'all get back on a good footing. That's why it's set in place. Because a woman get mad and she throw a fuss like they do and like they love to do. Our women, a lot of time, they ask you for a divorce. Not divorce me then. Divorce me. Yeah, I'm out. Yeah. Why you think the Prophet is 10 steps ahead of y'all? That's why he said the scent of the paradise for the woman. A woman won't smell the scent of paradise who asks for her husband for a divorce unrightfully. It can't be just because you don't like him no more. Humans are humans. We all stink. We all go to the bathroom. Sometimes we smell good. Sometimes we got good character. Sometimes we got bad character. Everybody's the same. Everybody's the same. I'm going to make you mad, and then I'm going to make you happy. You're going to make me mad, and then you're going to make me happy. So technically, the grass ain't greener on the other side. There's a lot to lose. We got families. There's children involved. And just because you're upset, and you might have justification for why you're upset, that don't mean you destroy the whole entire family. You deal with me, and a lot of times, and my best friend, Imam Nadir, he says it all the time. He says it all the time. My mistakes are between me and Allah as a leader of this family. Yes, wife, you can advise me. You can advise me. But you got to be mindful of the way you're advising a man. I'm a lion. I'm not a woman. You can't, and you did this and did that happen and that. That ain't how I go. I'm a man. Should be anyway. So there's got to be some order. There's got to be some structure in our dealings. Somebody got to have the last say. It's got to be somebody be like, all right, now that's enough. From that point on, you exhort your man and you make dua. Wallahi. And I'm speaking from my own perspective. I probably wouldn't be married if Nana didn't make dua. As y'all see, I like to argue. It's hard to win an argument with me. Imagine being that woman. What you shaking your hand for? I thought you was But she was literally, and y'all see, I'm high energy. She'd disappear and be in the room for 15 minutes, a half an hour, literally just making dua. Sometimes she'll be in sajda or in jalsa, just making dua. And I'll be so hot and mad, I don't never be thinking about that. And when I see that, me trying to be a good Muslim, I come off of whatever I'm on. That's how you got to do it, sisters. That work. And I'm talking from a perspective of a guy that's, I was a guy's guy before. And I'm learning every day to not be so dismissive and to deal with women gently and all that stuff y'all be talking about. I'm trying. I'm really trying. And she's teaching me. I'm learning. So I'm speaking from the outside in. I mean, from the inside out, not from the outside in. We don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. So it ain't so much an oppressive thing that this exists in Islam. It's oppressive if the man is playing a game.
Let me read the sister comment. She said, okay. I know why the limits are set in for reconciliation, but there is no compulsion in Islam. If she asks for the divorce and wants to be with someone else, you're saying that it's lawful for him.
Hold on, I don't even want to hear the rest of it. I don't even want. Okay, so first and foremost,
the iddah period. You still got the iddah period.
Before that, how can you be asking for a divorce and want to marry somebody else? That's zina. I don't even want to hear the rest of the question. Where'd this other guy come from? Where did he come from? How do you want to marry somebody else and you still married to me?
Oh, let me drop this.
That's enough.
For these brothers, recognize, because sometimes you may come across a sister that's in her iddah period. It is not allowed to talk to a sister in her iddah period. Walk away. That is a specific time they can reconcile. They're trying to wait and see if there's the possibility of pregnancy. That is not a period for you to go ahead and slide in. You know what I'm saying? I want to be very mindful of how I say this because that's some trick simp ish.
I'm gonna send her the link. She asking to come up.
Yeah, send her the link.
Because I don't know if
What I miss? I was just trying to tell my husband good night. Now what happened?
Maybe we misunderstood the sister. She getting ready to send her the link.
She said we misunderstood her, so she getting ready to come up now. I just inboxed it to you, sister. Another sister, Jamila.
Somebody asked
Sister Jamila after the other sister. You can come up. Somebody asked Naima what?
Somebody asked Naima if they can ask. I had a friend say, I don't feel happy and want a divorce, and he divorced her. I mean, I guess the situation was taken care of. So, y'all let us know. Let me know if I don't get these right, because it's hard to get this stuff. That's why we invite people up to speak, because it's hard to get a perspective out of the comments, and it's probably about 400 or 500 comments. I can't even see.
So I know somebody mentioned a hadith where, and I'm paraphrasing, where a woman went to the Messenger of Allah, alayhi salam, and basically said that she don't like her husband and that she want a divorce, and the Prophet granted a divorce. And if I'm not mistaken, that was in the situation where she said she feared that her not liking her husband would make her obedient or ruin her
disobedient.
iman. Yeah, make her disobedient. I'm sorry.
She wasn't able to. She fears that she wouldn't be able to fulfill his rights per Islam. Which is in context with what we're saying. A woman can ask for khula'ah for a reason. That's a reason. So if a person comes to the authority and they say that I fear that I won't be able to provide this man his rights, then yes, that is a reason. That is a reason that she could. And then if the husband, there's still a negotiation process. Like the conversation doesn't just end there. You have to. There has to be an appointed judge, and that's the thing. But that's the thing within itself. It can either be that particular imam, or that both parties can agree on who they're going to appoint as a judge, and then the case, so to speak, would be heard. And then if the man is still not saying he wants to release her, if her case is made, then the judge can end the marriage forcibly, and then they would be haram for each other. Wallahu alam. That's what I've learned so far. So that's deep stuff. That's fiqh. So that's some deep stuff. Okay, so Minnie Loca, she been popular in the comments.
I
sound like him. Sound like him.
Oh, she on here. Oh, okay.
Okay, so is it right? Minnie Loca, is that right?
Yeah, Minnie Loca.
And what's your name?
Belkis.
You ain't crazy.
It doesn't mean that. That's not even what it means. Where I'm a linguist.
Well, Loca means a crazy woman.
No, actually, it depends on the etymology or the context that I'm talking about. I'm Spanish, so it could be me. It could mean loca, crazy woman, but it could mean gangster, like a loc from a gang and a female warrior, little warrior.
Which is crazy.
Right. Exactly.
Salam alaikum. What's up, sister? What's going on?
Assalamu alaikum.
Okay, so what I was trying to understand is that like okay, so it's like if it's a valid situation where the woman wants to leave the marriage, and from what I understand about the authority of the husband in Islam, he has so much authority over the wife that he can be oppressive to her. So what would be the fiqh when he is being oppressive and she has a valid reason to leave her husband? Because there are different hadith and stories of when the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam did allow for the wife to leave her husband when it seemed like maybe it wasn't a valid enough reason, like something dire, like he's beating on her. There was a very significant story where the woman, she was going through the street and she was leaving her husband, and he was crying and following behind her, dragging, begging for her to take him back. And the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam asked her to take him back to relieve his misery, and she said, "Are you commanding me, Rasulullah?" And he said, "No, I'm not commanding you." And she said, "Well, then I'm not taking him back." So I'm saying, what is the fiqh for when there is a husband being oppressive and she don't want to be with him? I didn't mean like, oh, I want to be with somebody else, so I want to divorce you. No, I mean like, I don't want to be with you no more.
She don't
I
want
want to
him
get
as a
married to
husband.
somebody else, because I've heard that a lot. What you said, like, oh, you could go off and be with somebody else. That type of narcissistic sounding, oppressing sounding. All right, you could go off and be with somebody else, but under Allah, you committing her zina. So like, what about in that type of situation? Because that's going to be some psychological oppression, because the person could take it within themselves to say, well, I'm gonna just deal with between me and Allah, he knows my intentions. But there is actual fiqh. You can't just say, oh, well, Allah knows my intentions, and you just go off and do what you want to do.
Can I answer that?
Yes. So go ahead.
Okay, because I've been in that situation. I've been in a situation where my first husband, I was abused in the marriage or whatever. And, you know, I went to the imam and told him what was going on and told him to contact the brother to say I wanted a divorce. But Islamically, we ended up getting divorced. But he had me in a catch-22 because we were still legally married in the state of Ohio. So, you know, it can be done, but it's got to be a just reason. Mine was a just reason. Honey, I was tired of having black eyes and nursing broken bones. So,
yes.
So that's the justified reason. So in that
right,
case,
that's a justified reason.
Then the divorce will be granted. But we talking about in situations where, you know, sisters are just like, you know, they don't have a justifiable reason to want out of the marriage. You know, they just kind of like, maybe he annoying or something like that. And they just like, I don't like him. He annoying. I don't want to be with him. You know, we talk about like,
and we hear stories about this.
Yeah.
Well, that was informative to speak about that to the Ummah, because like society is trying to project that onto us, which in Quran it says, don't let the society teach us. But the society is teaching our youth in this generation right now through the media, social media, music. And that really is getting pushed. Like, oh, I don't like him.
True.
He breathes too. Why he chewing so loud? I don't want to be with him no more. And that's
right.
not cool.
Right.
So that's why Allah already knew what to highlight in the society. Like, don't just be trying to break up for little petty reasons. No.
Most definitely.
Absolutely. But yeah, as far as the fiqh, I don't know if you caught that before you just came on. The case would go before. Okay, so a judge would have to be appointed, and they don't have to be like in court, like legal court here. You know, it could be at the masjid, and both people can agree on who's going to judge the case. And if they don't agree on who's going to judge the case, then somebody from their side, from each side, can represent, and then there would be another judge hear both sides.
Mhm.
And at that point, once both parties agree to that process, they have to agree to the decision
Mm.
that's going to come out of that process for with the judge. But
Mhm.
there is a lot of cases to where, and we dealing with one now where the men feel like they ain't got to go talk to nobody.
Right. That's so
My
annoying.
business is my wife, and I ain't gotta, I ain't listening to no imam. I know my fiqh, and I know my imam from back here and all that. We dealing with a situation like that now. And if this is if a person is called to testify and they
Right.
waive their
Oh, they
right
can't
to
do that.
testify, then you are subject to the decision. Like we
Okay.
dealing with a situation like that right now, and we gave the brother several opportunities since like the beginning of the
Okay.
spring to come forward because this is serious stuff that's been said, and he refused. He refused. So I went to somebody higher than me and told them about the situation. They said, yeah, the brother got 3 days to make that right. If he'll make it right, marriage is over.
Hey, brothers
And
and
she's free.
sisters, real quick, I want to say I appreciate being allowed onto your platform. You know what I'm saying? But I've been up since 4 o'clock this morning.
Oh my goodness.
So, but inshallah, we can do it again. I appreciate it, man. I'm
Inshallah.
humbled that you guys allowed me on, man. And you know what I'm saying? I look up to you, brother and sister. You know what I'm saying? Inshallah, may Allah preserve you. May Allah reward you with long life,
Amen.
success in this life
Amen.
and in the next life. Amen.
Amen, buddy. Yeah. Hey, I appreciate you coming out. It means a lot for the people to see, everyday Muslims. I'm emphasizing this because they need to see good men. We're not
And
seeing
the
good men
brothers.
on the interweb.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah, we
yeah.
need the
We need
sisters
to
be
see
all
good
on
men.
everything.
So
We need the brothers.
Sister, single, never married no
absolutely.
kids. Slide your boys DM. You heard me?
Yes.
All right, y'all.
Inshallah.
Assalamu alaikum. Jazakallah here.
All right. Wa alaikum salam. What about
Walaikum
what up,
salam.
Captain? Okay, so we are to the end of our time period. I wish we could have got to a lot more of these comments, but I guess a lot of the comments are going to lead to more
More
programs
topics.
in this regard. Yeah, yeah. I don't want to keep people up all night, and I definitely don't want to be up all night. I ain't had my supper, so so I gotta go eat. I definitely appreciate everybody for coming out and for giving us the time of day. We just making an honest effort to spread the knowledge to the people because there is a huge gap between the ulama and the general masses. And this is not our fault. We up under colonialism still. So there's, we got all types of divisions that's got the community all over the place. So I'm making my best effort to get the knowledge, to get the sacred knowledge of the Salaf and bring it to the people at large so that, everybody's lives can be improved on an individual level, myself and my family first and foremost. Sister Minnie Loca, Bilquis, you got anything else to add before we go?
No, this is a really good. I don't even know how I came on this. I don't know if y'all was in the BAM group or something, how I got here, but y'all had me standing here for what 2 hours, like
Oh, mashallah, mashallah.
I'm young. Like it seemed like I don't know. Y'all might be older than me. I'm still learning my Islam, growing my Islam. I was born Muslim, but I'm growing and learning my Islam myself. So as I was saying, I took Brother Shadid Muhammad's marriage course. It's
Of
a really
course you
good.
do.
It's a really
Of
good
course you
course.
do. The good headed brother, of course.
Yeah, and I learned Islamic fiqh, and he also teaches us like street information, which took me down a path of I saw the brother was saying like we need to learn Islamic understanding of relationship dynamic as well as just like sociology, psychology, and that's where I come from. A lot of times when you learn it anyway, it ties back into Allah's laws. Even what you was breaking down, it really made sense. It just made sense.
Alhamdulillah.
Yeah.
Alhamdulillah. I'm glad. Thank you for that feedback, because a lot of times me and Nyla be up late at night, really, really late at night. Like, are we hitting the nail on the head? Are we,
Yes.
are we striking where it's hot? Because we're trying to make these topics relevant, and we ain't getting on here just to try to run up some views, and just because we got cameras on our phones and computers, we actually trying to move with a purpose. So I definitely appreciate that feedback.
Yes, and y'all are a good example to us. A beautiful Muslim couple.
I mean, you
Alhamdulillah,
got
alhamdulillah.
for us.
Bleh.
Y'all too. Any? You too, Malika. You too, and Imam Abu Muhammad.
Oh, was
She
that
thinks she
Malika?
thing, 'cause she
You
done
know that
married
was
her
me,
nigga.
girl.
Had the y'all got anything? Y'all two got anything before we go? Inshallah.
Nope, I don't
No.
have anything, but maybe you could tell them what's our next topic gonna be.
Yes.
Well, you can. It seems like a serious question. I'm gonna try to get that before we go. Go ahead and plug the sisters group and what y'all got going for the next week.
No, I was talking about our Love Talks Live next topic.
Haven't decided yet.
Oh, okay.
Well, we got 2 or 3 things, so I haven't decided yet. Which one?
Well,
Which you
whatever,
think we should
it's gonna be juicy, y'all. Y'all know.
Club halal. Somebody said a question. Wouldn't it be fair to say that while getting to know a brother, a sister should inquire to find out if the mahar that we seek might be affordable for him by way of discussing his means? The flip side to that question would be that in that same process, the brother should inquire about the qualities of that sister, so he might gauge how much he might be willing to offer her. Absolutely, positively.
Yeah.
I think it should be more of that talk than the I love yous and I miss yous and been thinking about you all day. We've been doing that all our lives. Everybody that's watching this, we've been doing that since elementary. So
I,
that's the easy part of the relationship.
He said,
I
"Who?"
love my
So,
husband, and I be
That
missing
that
him.
that that's why
Don't do
that's
me.
why that's why
Not
at
too
the
much on me
beginning.
now.
At the beginning, I was telling them, like, when me and Abdul Kabir was talking, when we were having our conversations on the phone, we were talking about the important stuff. We wasn't, talking about getting the skins and, none of that type of stuff. We were talking about, our goals and, stuff like that. So
Y'all should do a
First thing I
topic
asked
on
her
that then.
was,
Like a topic on
okay, well,
important questions before marriage, and towards the man and towards the woman. Then
I think we
we
might
could do
take your
that.
advice.
Yeah,
yeah.
because my
I think
husband
we
got
may
an
take your advice.
extensive list of questions that he asked.
21 or more.
85,000, it felt like.
You now see, look, y'all always blaming me for getting y'all in trouble. Now we got Sister Anissa in trouble last week. Now you finna be in trouble.
I ain't about to be, but the whole thing about, y'all know me, I'm an open book. I don't care about no questions.
Absolutely. Yeah, maybe that'll be the topic. But I definitely think that should be like the very first thing. That was the first thing I said. I asked what was her dowry and what was the expected maintenance. And there was a few other sisters that I've spoken to as well, and it was the same question, the same conversation every time. What was your dowry? What was your expected maintenance? So I can know as a man, because I know I got to provide. Is this a situation that I could lead? Yeah, and like she said in the second part of the question, like also, is it okay for the man to inquire about the sister's character and so forth? I absolutely, positively did. After
Yeah.
she told me what her dowry and expected maintenance was, which, for the record, like I said, she said that she just wants to learn Arabic and she wants to learn the Quran, which is not cheap, because 90% of the brothers out here, they don't know Arabic. 90% of the brothers, they don't know the Quran. So, I was like, oh, alhamdulillah, I can do that. So that ain't cheap. And then on top of that, as far as maintenance, she said, I'm not going to make it hard for my husband. She said, get us a house, provide for it, keep the lights on. I believe that to you. She made it easy. And I'm gonna be real with y'all. I was living in my mama's basement when I was having this conversation, and now we got a 4-bedroom house and a couple acres. So don't judge a book by your cover. I was getting out of my first marriage, my first and my second marriage, and I went back home for a little bit, and I had to get things right. And she did not make it hard for me. And we had like she said earlier, we are several trips around the world later. So it don't always end how it started. And I definitely believe that, those are relevant questions. So y'all get that stuff out of the way. And we can avoid all of the other stuff when he said this and he said that, and he really didn't say that.
Yeah,
Because a
that
lot
go
of
back to
times the
what I
brothers
said in
don't
the
be saying
beginning
nothing.
about your intentions. It's all about the intention.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what
I
I
see a
was.
lot of
That's
times
what.
with sisters, brothers don't be telling brothers and sisters a lot of this stuff. The sisters be leading with that stuff, like, oh, I want this and I want that, and I want to be married like this, and then, I want to have this house out here. Bro's like, yeah, alhamdulillah, inshallah. And then, they go ahead and get married for a couple pages out the Quran, and the brother don't provide none of that. He didn't say that he could or he would. He just went along with the conversation. That's how men are. We be like, man, listen,
I'm
something's happening inside of me and it's got to stop happening. So I got to get married. That's how men think. I'm just keeping it real. So definitely do them hard questions and have that tough conversation for sure. All right,
But
we gone for sure. What'd you say? Go ahead.
she said the sister. She said all about your intentions, and I'm thinking like as you was talking, I'm like, your wife must have, and your courting stage, she must have, although you wasn't fully set up your foundation that she was looking for, and you was in transition, and whatever your conversation whatever you was resonating her made her feel content and with security, because she mentioned there was, if I'm not mistaken, I know she mentioned that there was other brothers interested in her, with coming and offering her things, and she wasn't interested in that. So
Most definitely.
whatever you was resonating to her, you gave her security for her to feel to invest into you, her time or whatever, and that y'all could grow together. Sometimes these brothers have things together, and what they're saying is not giving you, the women, the security, because we all have gut intuition, but we have that women intuition as well. It's like, you're not making me feel sure.
Right.
Right, because that's what I told my husband, that he was by the time we got married, I was already in love. I was already cuckoo. But he made me feel safe.
Mm-hmm.
And I hadn't felt safe in a long time. So I felt
Mm-hmm.
safe. So
Yeah.
I knew at that moment that he was going to be my husband.
Mm-hmm. It's like the God thing, when they be like, oh, it's a feeling. When she the one, it's a feeling. It's like that for us. When you feel safe with him, you're like, oh yeah, it's him. He might not be it to other people's standards, but to you, he's it, because in his presence, he make you feel safe. That's important.
Most definitely. Most
Mm-hmm.
definitely.
All right, brothers, listen up. The sisters dropping the game. Listen up. All right, I love y'all for the sake of Allah. I definitely appreciate everybody coming out. We will be back next week, inshallah ta'ala. We'll announce the topic sometime throughout the week. And in this particular program is, for relevant conversations in regards to marriage, love, and relationships. It's an integral thing to talk about. There are a lot of things that we don't talk about that we need to talk about and get some understanding about it. So that's what the aim of this show is to get some understanding with love and relationships. And every single time we've done this, I've learned something, and it literally helps us out. I'm getting other people's perspective. The people that come on to speak. This is the beautiful thing about the internet. It allows us all to connect. So all of our experiences, our individual experiences, the knowledge and the path that we all have been on individually, we get to share that perspective. This is what I love about social media. So that's what we're doing here on Saturday nights. Monday, y'all know we do not Aqidah. It's just kind of free reading. Wednesday, we do Aqidah, and Friday, we do fiqh. So y'all stay plugged in and tuned in to the true Aqidah of the Salaf on Facebook. We don't have an Instagram. on Facebook and YouTube, the True Aqidah of the Salaf. Y'all like, share, and subscribe. If you agree. If you don't agree, well, may Allah guide us all. We just doing our best. I love y'all for the sake of Allah. Aquli qawla hada wa astaghfirullah wa la ilaha illallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Walaikum salam.
Alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Peace.